Okay, those of you joining us on the replay, we've only just started. I was just recapping where we've got to so far. I was just talking money blocks and thanking everybody for doing the homework yesterday on day 4. You can see why I'm better supported by a team, but I've said neither of them needed to join us. I said, no, I'll be fine. I can manage to press record, but it looks like I did in time, so it's fine. Okay, back to where we are. Anything that you're stuck on from the days that we've covered, because I know some people have been live, some people on the replay, stick it in the chat, okay? I'm here to help you. If you're on the replay today, later on today, use the hashtag replay, stick any challenges, anything you need help with in the comments below the video. Please don't, like, the clock's ticking, like these videos will go Monday, 8 p.m. UK time. So don't leave it until Monday, 7:55. Oh yeah, I didn't understand that, Beryl. I got stuck on that. Like, get my help now is what I'm saying. Okay, so just tell me in the chat if you've got any questions, anything you're finding hard to work through, anything you're like, oh, can't quite shift, then shout. Okay, so where are your clients? Where are the clients? This is what we're talking about today. They are there. They really are out there. First step is identifying who they are, which we're talking about on day 3. Next, we can find them, okay? Other thing I want to say is just keep the energy up, guys. Like, we're on day 5. We've got 3 more days, including today, to go. So come on, let's keep going. It might be Friday, but I'm still full of beans. And let's just give these last few days 110%. So really get stuck in. Like, this week is for you. It's for you to make maximum shifts and changes and growth in your business. And I am so happy to help you. And thank you so much, everyone, for showing up and doing the work, okay? I said this yesterday, what you want has got to be bigger, brighter, bolder than your fear of judgment, rejection. All of it doesn't work. You've just got to put fear behind and your desires ahead. And that really, really does make a massive difference. Okay, let's start then on finding clients. The first thing I want you to really be clear on, we've talked about this already, but just jot anywhere we're on page 14, jot anywhere on your workbook. What are the results? If I get you to my horse, what happens? What can you offer me? What is it going to, what's going to happen? Is my horse going to move better, feel better, look better? What is it that happens? Are you like suddenly now part of my team? Do you give me homework to get on with? What happens? Because when we're looking for clients, so often, we talked about this on when we did pitching, so often we just go with the how, like, this is, oh, I can come out and I do this and I do this modality and I do this and this and I've been qualified for this long. Just go with that, go with the end, okay? It's like, we don't always want to watch the whole box set, we just want to know what happens, yeah? Then people can find out, you can then give them the bits in between, the nuts and bolts, but lead with the results when you are talking to your clients and looking for your clients and advertising to your clients. So let's get really clear. Does everyone feel clear on what it is that they are offering? And when I say what, I mean like the results, okay? Any tips to feel comfortable with goals, business aims? I always want more. This is great. Okay, so Jess, it's fine to want more. The difficulty is if you have a disconnect. So say you set your goal at 15 clients a week, just say for the sake of argument, there's a part of your brain that's, I want to be doing 20. You're just always going to be in that sort of state of lack and it will never feel enough. So even if you suddenly found you had 21 clients, you'll always just be like, wow, could have 22. So I know you have time constraints now and you can't just add in more and more all the time. I would drill into what is the more that you want. Is it you want more clients because you want to help? And there's no right or wrong answer, by the way. Is it you want more clients because you want to help more horses? If you have no more capacity to help more horses on a one-to-one basis, then you need to look at how you can change things in your business to include some kind of one-to-many type of model. And that doesn't mean like restart your whole business. It might just be that you run a webinar every month or you speak to a riding club. But if that's what's bugging you, you want to like have a bigger impact, then you need to find a way you can get in front of more people in one time. So it takes one time block, but you can reach 20, hundreds potentially of people. That's one option. If it's you want more income, again, also great goal. You need to find another way of people paying you money without you having to use up too many more time blocks. Or you need to find time blocks which fit around your new life as a mummy. So maybe in the evening or something. So there's so much you can do. And I don't think it's a case of you should just make yourself satisfied at all. You need to find out why you're dissatisfied. And then you need to act upon that. Jess, I hope that makes sense. Please tell me if it doesn't. Tell me if you want any more help. But great question. Love that. Okay, everybody clear on the results that they are offering, what it is they're getting. If you're not, shout. This is your chance to get the help. Okay, so where are these clients? Okay, the thing you need to be doing is getting in to the heads of, I suppose, of the people that you want to help. Okay, so just scribble somewhere on your piece of paper who your clients are. Just remind yourself again and again, who are your dream clients? They are happy hackers, they're dressage people, they are elite athletes, they are people that haven't ridden their horse for 5 years. There's no right or wrong answer, but just be clear on who it is you want to work with. And I know we've got a massive cross section, which is great. There is no right or wrong answers. Who you predominantly want to work with. Yes, the nature of life is you'll always end up with the odd couple of clients which don't sort of fit your niche. That is not a problem at all. The problem comes from when you're trying to talk to the lady down the road with the retired Shetland and the lady at the other end of the road that runs the smart dressage and is competing in advanced medium. They've just got different issues, they've got different problems, they've got different interests, and they need you in a different way. Yeah, so it's fine if they're both your clients, but to start with, you have to choose to talk to one or the other in terms of website and social, okay? So we know who your clients are, yep. We know what the results are, okay. What are their problems? What are their struggles? So lady down the road with the retired pony, she probably loves him dearly. He's probably prone to laminitis. She's probably worrying about that. Maybe she worries, oh, is he okay because he's not being ridden? Perhaps he's really old and she worries about him being stiff, like is he comfortable? Maybe he's treated a little bit like a large dog or a person, so she's probably got lots of empathy on that side. So her pain points, her struggles, her worries for that horse are going to be really different from the advanced medium horse, where it's probably going to be, oh, he's struggling with this kind of changes, or will I be able to get him up to the next level, or will he hold together for the regional finals? I finally qualified after how many years of trying. It's okay, yeah, you could generalize and say they both just want happy horses, of course, but their individual struggles are different. So just get clear on what their issues are, okay? And this will really, really help you with working out where they are. It's so important that we do this bit first. I've got this, my clients will be very familiar with this spreadsheet. I'm always giving them to fill in. And this is what I do when I'm launching anything. Who is it for? What is the results that they will get? What is the kind of like testimonial that they would give you? I have all of my clients like write out a testimonial, a dream testimonial. So the little old lady is going to be saying things like, Timmy's so much more comfortable. Oh, he trotted across the field. He hasn't done that for 5 years or whatever. Compared to the lady with the dressage horse, who'll be like, oh yes, his action was so much better. He was looser, he was free, he was covering the ground, the changes were better, they were neater, cleaner, faster, whatever. Totally, totally different. And they're both great testimonials, but you just need to really be so focused on who these people are that you want to talk with. Okay, so where are they? Where are these people? Like literally, where they're hanging out like in person, and where are they online? Now start scribbling on your workbook. So where are they in person? So let's use these two examples. Well, the little old lady up the road with a retired pony, maybe she's on the riding club committee, maybe she does something with the BHS. She's probably less likely to be at the local show centre, for example. So think where that kind of audience would be. You know, are they riding club members? Are they involved, as I said, with the local BHS? Do they go to, like, I'm just thinking like big equestrian centres, if they've got like clinics or demos or something like that, are they interested in things like that? Other end of the scale, the competitive side, where are they going to be? They are going to be going to if you think of their discipline, they'll be at, you know, the shows within your kind of radius. Yes, some of those bigger shows obviously going to be further afield. And for example, if you were looking at helping those, you know, top level event riders, well, you know, you can work out what they would be. So where else is the competitive person? They're going to be at, let's use dressage just as an example. They're going to be at the BD places, British Dressage, those who are not in the UK. They're going to be perhaps at somewhere, like, I don't know, maybe it's a big indoor up the road that everyone hires just to get a bit of match practice in. They're going to be places like that. Where are they in online? Where are they hanging out online? Like, what's the kind of group that they're in on Facebook? So, and you'd be surprised, maybe the little old lady does use Facebook. You know, we're stereotyping massively, but this is just to give you an indication of how you can use this exercise. Is it that the dressage lady, she's in the BD group? Is she like horse and hound forum type of person? Where is she hanging out? Like, where is she getting information? What groups are of interest to her? So I'm thinking Matchy springs to mind, but you know, I'm sure there's more educational dressage groups. Like, there is a Facebook group, whatever your basement pod, for everything. There really, really is. Every kind of angle of the horsey world. So is she in something like that? If you were aiming more at like the more amateur rider, what is that really funny eventing group? Is it like shit event riders falling off or something like that? There's, you know, is that the kind of place that they're hanging out? So do a bit of detective work. This is what we're talking about today. It's like working backwards, reverse engineering where these people are hanging out. Fiona, one of my lovely clients, she's on the call today. She does lots of pole work. There is a fabulous group for non-ridden horses. And that's been really helpful, Fiona, to find clients for her newest challenge that she's just been running. So you can just work backwards. What about local Facebook groups? You know, most, you know, I can't speak for everyone in the world, but certainly in the UK, I think every tiny pocket of the country has its own horsey Facebook group. So yeah, work backwards. Who has already got this audience? So it could be Facebook groups, it could be riding clubs, it could be pony clubs, it could be saddlers, it could be farriers, it could be instructors, I said competition venues, British Horse Society. You know, they have regional Facebook groups, they have, you know, stuff in person as well, regionally. So who has already got your audience? Now, obviously I don't mean somebody who is a practitioner in your area, i.e. your competition. I don't mean that. I just mean, you know, other professionals, other in-person places, and also your clients. Like, they've got your audience, they're friends. You know, we tend to be friends with people that are like us in general. So, you know, your clients are a great source of more clients, because if what you do works for them, there's a strong chance it's going to work for their friends and connections as well. Your own friends, you know, I'm not suggesting you try and make all your friends into clients, but there's a strong chance that they will know people who are also horsey, also in your area, and are in a sort of similar wavelength to them. You know, maybe they don't fit your niche, but there's a strong chance they do. So many people never really use their own personal profiles to talk about what they do. And I think it's really missing a trick. I really do. Now, I'm not saying you should be violating Facebook's sort of standards and rules by, you know, using your personal profile to heavily promote your business. No, not at all. But I am saying, how many of your friends, family, contact, no idea what you do, because you maybe just don't talk about it, or you just sort of assume that they knew, and they may well not. So do think about how easy it is to just get in front of people that you already know or already kind of connected to, like friends of friends and so forth, and just make sure that people, in your immediate circle to actually know what you do. And if they don't, ask yourself why. Like, it could just simply be you've never mentioned it, but it's a reason that you've never mentioned it. Because I think sometimes we're like, oh God, what will they think? Like, we used to ride together, and like now I'm a massage therapist, or now I'm a physio. Oh, it feels a bit awkward. Like, dig into it. What is that trying to tell you? And what's that showing up as? So yeah, like, it can all be such useful information for sure. Just digging into the chat here. Okay, I want to build a relationship with my clients' horses as a regular part of the care plan. Yes, yes, so true, Louisa, sorry, so true. I'll be talking about this tomorrow, like how you don't want clients to just be like a kind of one-hit wonder. You want to be working with people who you're going to be part of the team. You're going to be working with them regularly. And yes, some horses maybe can be on a maintenance of, 4 times a year or something, and others probably need a great deal more input. And I think that's exactly the way to go. You want to be building a relationship. You don't just want to be like, oh yeah, I'll come in once and then sort of that's it. So I think that's a really great point, Louisa. Thank you so much for raising that. That's fabulous. Okay, so we've got where are your clients? Yeah, on and offline. We've got who already has this audience. How can you access this audience is the next thing that we would like to talk about. I will be talking about vets. If you think she's missed vets, I will be talking about vets in a second. But let's just think, how can we get in front of these people? Okay, well, there's loads and loads of things you can be doing. The best way to approach this is like, what can I offer? If you're trying to get in front of other people's audiences, and I call this piggyback marketing, it's like, what can I bring to the table? What can I bring to the party? What can I offer that is really going to help this person? So, for example, let's use a riding instructor as an example. Now, I think riding instructors are a brilliant source of clients. There's no competition because people need help with their riding, and most horses would benefit from you guys treating them. I think all horses actually. And as a riding instructor, it's really, really frustrating when you are saying things like, because you're not a vet and there's a very fine line to tread, just the same with you guys. It's really annoying when, you're just like, oh, like, he's really still quite stiff to the right, isn't he? Like, have you thought about getting someone to look at him? Or it would be great if we could just loosen him up a little bit. And you've tried really, really tactfully. And sometimes you don't actually know anybody in that particular area. I used to cover quite a big area, and people that worked on my own horse would be kind of closer to where I was. And then I could be like the top of my teaching area, and I wouldn't necessarily know anybody who was in that vicinity. So I would have loved to have been kind of connected with some practitioners. I would have found that really, really helpful. So reach out to some trainers and think, what can you offer them? Well, the most important thing is that you're showcasing your work. Show what you can do is so important. Can you treat their horse? Could you put together like a demo for their clients? Could you say, oh, look, I'd love to help some of your clients. Could you get a couple of them together so I can, come meet some of your clients? I'd really like to do that. There's so much you can do that would be really helpful. I think, if a trainer's got their own horse, offering to meet them and work on their own horse, either a free one-off session or doing a couple of discounted sessions, I think can be really beneficial. Now, I was talking yesterday about free stuff, and I'm not a big fan of just giving away your services when there is a point to it. So I think if you give a potential client a free session, that it doesn't result in bookings. I think if you're starting to build a relationship with a fellow professional, like a vet, like a trainer, and working on their horse can be beneficial. Doing it for free, doing it at a reduced rate, I think has got a point to it, because you're not expecting them to just suddenly have you do the same thing and pay for it, which is the difference between working on a potential client's horse for free and then thinking, oh, well, why didn't they just book a session as well? Because people just don't seem to value the free stuff. Whereas relationship building, showcasing your skills to another professional, I see that totally differently. So I hope that's really clear to everybody. So I'm a bit, not anti-free, It's free with intention, and it's free because you want it to be free, not because you're kind of like desperately hoping it will turn into a booking. Does that make sense? You know, in this case, it's building that relationship with other practitioners and other professionals. So yeah, saddlers, what could you do for a saddler? You know, could you do a clinic together? Could you join up and do something together? You know, particularly if it's a saddler that you've maybe worked with yourself for your own horse, I think that that can be a really great way to start a relationship. Farriers the same. You know, farriers I think are really upping their game massively. Like the days of just turning up and sort of slapping on any old shoes and then just roaring back 8 weeks later, 6 to 8 weeks later, have really gone. You know, farriers. And there's always been good farriers, but I think farriers in the last few years are really, really upping their game. That there's so much more knowledge out there, and it's great to see so many farriers, you know, offering training and getting other farriers even better at what they do. So I really feel that farriers actually, particularly in this country, you know, I can't speak for everywhere in the world, but I've really noticed that shift in this country with farriers. I think farriers are a really good point of call again. You know, do they have their own horse? Do they have horses? It sounds really sexist to assume all farriers are men, but there is a strong percentage that are, you know, perhaps their wife or their partner's horse could be worked on, showcasing what you do again. So it's all about thinking, what can you offer to these people? Okay. The other one I wanted to mention before I get on to vets is sponsored riders, which is something I see so many practitioners having sponsored riders. Sponsored riders are great. It is all about making sure, there's several things, making sure you're clear on what the deal is, what the agreement is, and making sure that not only they fit your niche, but the people that follow and the people that they influence also are your niche. Because this is a mistake I see quite often. And I would totally have fallen into the same trap myself, so this is no judgment at all, is you pick somebody who's got like a really good Instagram following, because that seems like a sensible thing to do, or they're always out at shows, you know, always out winning stuff, and that seems really sensible. And then you sort of drill into who follows them, and then you realize it's like a load of 12-year-olds. You know, do 12-year-olds have the means to book you and get you out? No. So you do really, really want to sense check and really work back, you know, who is the sponsored rider? Do they fit with the niche? Do they have the right following? And it's easy to be swayed by the numbers and think, okay, well, they've got a massive following. This is going to be great. You know, a massive following is more like a vanity metric, to be honest. Like, useful if you've got something digital to sell and they have the right following. But if you need it to be in-person stuff, are the people that follow them, the people that they have an influence on, are they all geographically bound where you are? Because again, you can have all the followers on Instagram, for example, or Facebook, but if only like 3% of them live in your area, it's not really going to work so well. So loads of people have already gathered your audience. This is what I really wanted to get across in this session. You don't always have to do all the hard work. Other people have got all your potential clients neatly organized in the right place. You just have to work back as to where they are. So saddlers, farriers, instructors, riding clubs, pony clubs, sponsored riders, competition venues, BHS, loads, and we'll come to vets in a second, you know, loads and loads of avenues to explore. You just need to think, okay, how do I get in front of these people? What can I offer? What can I, you know, how do I get in front of the riding club? Could you offer to do like an online thing for them? Could you sponsor a class at the show? Could you do like a live demo for them? What is there that you could do? Or big livery yard or something the same. At a competition venue, you know, how do you get in front of these people? Could you, I know they have like a big winter show jumping and it's the final. Could you be there on the day with a little pop-up stand? You know, how do you get in front of these people? And there's always ways to do this. It's just working out first who your people are, then where they are in person, and online, and then who already has this audience, and how do you kind of piggyback on that? Right, please use the chat to your advantage. Let me just see any questions. Yes, packages, yes, definitely. I think it's really nice with packages, I think it's really nice as an owner to feel like you're getting more support. Like, I would very much like to feel like I've got somebody on the team. And the same way that I would like to with a trainer and a farrier, I don't want to feel like, oh, like you will come back again. Like, I'm having to kind of work to make sure you come back. I just want to feel like, yeah, like we're kind of all in this together. So I think that's really good. And you can package stuff up in a way that offers the client lots of value, and then they can be paying you monthly for it, for example. So it can really help with your cash flow as well. Jess, that's a good question. So I was just talking about sponsored riders. Is that, when you're saying sponsorship packages, is that what you're referring to, sponsored riders? I hopefully I've answered that, Jess, for you, but feel free to add more in the chat. I think what happens with sponsorship, sponsored riders is what I'm referring to, is people don't say exactly what they want. And it's easy to do that. It's really easy to be like, well, I'll just assume that they'll talk about me all the time, and that'll just equate bookings. You need to be really clear, like, what their idea of all the time might be to post about you once a month, or just tag you in, like, oh, got a win in, I don't know, the 110 today, thanks to, and you're just in, one of the many names. And whereas you might have thought that they'll be talking about doing a video of you working on the horse and talking about it, you have to be crystal clear on what you are expecting, what they are expecting to do, and agree. And I would also suggest having a contract with sponsored riders, because I see, lots of investment on your part in time and money in terms of clothing and the rugs and the whole shebang. And I think that's all great stuff if they are the right person, and if they are going to promote you in the ways that you are hoping, assuming that they will do. So Jess, I hope that makes sense. Please feel free to ask any more questions, or I can clarify that further. But yeah, I think they can work. It's just the right person with the right followers and the right agreements. Bit of a caveat, but yeah, I think it can be really good. Okay, vets. Are we all good? Are we all good on page 14? We feel a bit clearer. We're happy with this. If you're not, this is your time to say before we turn over the page. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think it's a lovely way to do that, Louisa. Giving a raffle prize. Oh, we're given a demonstration by Jeff Billington. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think that sounds really good. Yeah. Are they your perfect people to be in front of? But it's a great opportunity for sure. Okay, so let's go on with vets. Right. Who currently has a good working relationship with vets? Who has, put a 1 in the chat if you have vets referring clients to you. And there is, please don't worry if it's not happening at the moment, because this is what this session's for, but let's just find out, is anybody fairly established with working with vets or not? Stick a 1 in the chat if you are. That would be great to hear. Who have we got? So I can see some 1s. Oh, what a surprise. Yeah, brilliant. Fiona, Vicky, fabulous. Crystal, Janice. That's no surprise. Two of my lovely clients are the first people to comment 1s. Fantastic. Okay, so working with vets is so important. It really, really is. I think it is just like the cornerstone of your business. Working with vets is more than just clients, is how I see it. It's great for your confidence. It's great to establish a working relationship, like a friendly working relationship as well. Like, I think vets are so incredibly giving with their time and their knowledge. As somebody that's built a whole business from working with vets, I love vets. They are so passionate. They are like walking encyclopedias. They are absolutely incredible. Another great advantage of working with vets is, hopefully this will never happen to you, but it's nice to feel like someone's got your back. What if you have someone being like, well, he was fine until you came out, and the horse, you've not wrecked the horse. The horse probably already had X number of ongoing issues. It's really nice to feel that another professional's got your back. It really is. You know, we've talked so much already this week how it's really lonely in business sometimes, and it's really nice to feel that somebody else is yeah, in your corner. I'd say working with us can provide you with a lot more interesting work as well. Some interesting cases, more work for sure. You can avoid clashes if you have a good relationship with vets, because is there anything worse than the practitioner says, oh, but the vet said, you know, you need to be communicating, you need to be talking together so you're both singing from the same hymn sheet. It's doing more to help horses ultimately, because between you, for some clients and horses, you may need to have a slight like a pincer movement. You know, you're seeing the same issues, you're treating the same tight spots, and you know there's more going on. You've said to the owner, oh, you know, have you got the vet coming out with some vaccinations, the vet coming out soon? Or I think it'd be great to maybe get the vet to look at the horse, because I, you know, keep seeing these same tight bits in the same place. I keep releasing them, I keep coming back each and every time. You know, you can flag that up to the vet, and then maybe if the owner isn't getting the vet out, you can be highlighting to the vet that perhaps, you know, next time they're there, or could they, you know, drop the owner a message if they have a good relationship with them. And this is so much better for the horse. It really, really is. Okay. So working with vets is fantastic. I would say it's something that lots of people struggle with. Partly, I think so many limiting beliefs around working with vets, like vets don't want to work with me in my area. Vets already have somebody that they work with. Why would anybody want to refer to me? These are the kind of things I hear. So we've got to get some of those limiting beliefs around vets out of the way. Your energy and intention has got to be spot on. You have to believe that vets want to work with you. I really do believe vets do want to work with a range of practitioners. Yes, there'll always be the odd vet who is just about to retire, who perhaps isn't fully on board with every type of modality available, but the vast majority of vets, I really do feel, want to help. They want to get you guys involved as well. Couple of things to be really, really aware of. It is your responsibility for vets in your area to know who you are, not the other way around. It is not the vet's job. They get home from, oh my goodness, a day of goodness knows what, colic, lameness, everything happening. It's not their job to scroll through different associations or check through Facebook groups and see who's getting recommended at the moment. No, it's your job for vets to know who you are. And I feel that so many people, they kind of put in about 2% and they're like, I didn't get a response. Oh, they don't want to work with me. Like, you've got to really put yourself out there. Okay, so I feel like I've heard loads of excuses, I have to say, like, well, that's in my area, they don't refer, they only refer to physios, they only refer to therapists with an R in their name, they only refer to practitioners with blonde hair. Like, I've heard it all before. Okay, now there will be some practices, some vets who do mainly refer to physios over massage therapists, and that can be quite hard to swallow for sure. There is a reason for that. It's not because they think massage therapists are rubbish. It is because for a long time, it was only possible for chartered physiotherapists to be part of the insurance claim. So if vets were referring as part of an insurance claim, that was the only choice that they had for quite a long time. Things have now changed. And I think the way has really opened up. And I think lots of vets do want to refer to all types of therapists. But again, it's up to you to show what you do, show your skills, and show why they should be referring to you. Okay. Vets won't always call you back. That's not because they think you're crap. That's because they're busy. That's because they lost signal. That's because they had to reroute from their way home and go to a colic. There's a million reasons. And I think until you really are involved with the vet world, I thought I knew how busy vets were until I really started working quite closely with vets. It's another level. So if they don't call you back, it's nothing personal. You just got, their list is like this, probably longer. And then more and more emergencies come in all the time. You just got bumped off the bottom. It wasn't personal. you have to keep trying. You really do. You have to do so much more. And there's so many things you just don't know. And I see people making assumptions like, you don't know which vet's going to move on. You don't know which vet, like maybe they can't refer at one practice, but then they go into a different practice where things are more relaxed. You know, maybe one place has in-house treatment and vets in that practice can only refer to that. Like that's a company policy, for example. Vets do move practices, yeah. So I think it's so important to have a working relationship with as many vets as possible, because you just never know what's around the corner. You never know who's going to move. You never know what could happen. So maybe one place do refer to Gemma or whoever, but what if she moves house, breaks her ankle, goes on maternity leave? You just don't know. Like, why should you not be kind of waiting in the wings? I really think it is worth your time and effort. I think it's key. I think it is a great source of referrals, but I find that so many practitioners just get a bit disheartened. So to me, it's believing that they want to work with you. It's taking inspired action, like getting in touch with them. Doesn't just mean emailing the practice, which never gets through to the right vet. You need to be really clear on who the vet you need is. And then you need to start, a bit like we're doing today, reverse engineering, work back. How can you build a relationship with that particular vet? What's the best way to get hold of them? Do they respond to email? Most vets probably don't. Most vets prefer a phone call. If they can't take the phone call, could you maybe WhatsApp them? Could you text them? Like what is working for them, and ask them, you know, is it convenient if I call you? Is it better if I get hold of you in another way? Okay, so like do your part. Find out what works for them. Okay. Now I liken this all the time to saying it's a bit like dating. Yeah. You can't just send one email and then you're kind of married. You know, they're going to be instantly referring to you. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. And some vets that might be a shorter process, and others it may take much longer. But you need to be showcasing, like reaching out. You need to know who you want to talk to, showcasing your work, reaching out, offering to help them. There's ways you could be referring back, like if a client is going into the practice for an investigation, workup, surgery, something, that's a great opportunity for you to be jumping in and saying, okay, great, you know, Sunny's come in for the surgery this week, next week, whatever. I would really like to be involved with the rehab program. These are my thoughts. You know, would you like me to email this over? Should I come in so we can discuss it in person? Like whatever is feasible and suitable and sensible. But, you know, do it that way. Like make it easy for the vets is so, so important. So what are you doing right now with vets? And if on page 15, this is totally blank, this top box, don't worry. Make sure the bottom box is really full. So what are you doing right now? And as I said, if that is quite blank, don't worry. What action do you need to take? That's what I would love to know. So I'd imagine for many of you, it's getting that list of which vets you need to work with. And the vets has obviously got to fit your niche. You know, if you want to work with rehab performance cases, that's a very different type of vet to the vet that is seeing retired ponies, laminitic horses in the field. You know, probably laminitic ones wouldn't be in the field, they're brought in for the field. But you know what I'm saying? Like the vets on the road are going to see one kind of client. The vets who are at the practice, sometimes they're partners, and they're doing the workups, they're doing the lameness assessments, they are that end, you know, those are going to be the right vets for some of you. But you know, just emailing the practice isn't going to cut it. Okay. So yeah, a bit of tough love, guys. You've got to go quite a few steps deeper. So many practices will have the details of who does what on their website, sometimes with the phone number. If not, just ask for the person's number, you know, call up and say, hey, I need to speak to so-and-so, and explain why, and get the number that way. You know, it's like, it's not like private phone number. It's like it's readily available information. And just think how you can be getting in touch with them when you've got a client going to them. Like I just mentioned that example with, you know, surgery and so forth. You can, like, don't wait for the vet to call you. They probably won't. you need to take the initiative. Okay, so everybody got those boxes filled out nicely. Okay. I think, yeah, Janice, I really agree. I think most vets are amazing. I really, really do. Hannah, possibly you haven't found the right person. You know, I've worked with so many vets, and I think I've had one vet that I was a bit, I mean, I do vet the vets that I use for my training courses. There was one vet, he must have slipped through the net slightly. I was a bit like, ooh, like, do you really think like that? But yeah, you know, maybe trying to work with newer grads can be really good as well. You just need to work out who the right people are. It's a bit like finding your clients, you know, a bit like working out which clients are for you, for sure. Okay, so that hopefully gives you lots and lots of details on working with vets and finding clients, and loads of doable actions that you can go right away and put into place. Now, I haven't given you any official homework because it is Friday, but I would really love you to be taking some action and just pick up the phone. Pick up the phone like today, unless you are joining us from the other side of the world, there's like the middle of the day. But if it's sensible business hours, pick up the phone, like call one vet, call one trainer, call one satellite, like do something straight after this call would be fantastic. Okay, what we're going to do now is we are going to have a quick chat with Claire and Fiona. So who is good to go first? Fiona, are you? Yay, Fiona, I just saw you, then I just lost you again. Let's have Fiona join us. She is joining us from, oh, Claire's there as well. Lovely. So Claire and Fiona have both taken part in the Expert Academy. We'll chat with Fiona first. And they've both got great stories to tell you, but Fiona's sort of got a really interesting story of a couple of clients to quite a few more in a fairly short space of time. So Fiona, let me get you here on the side of the screen. Amazing, Fiona, thank you so much for joining us. I can see a bit of sun in the field, but quite windy as well.
It's not raining, so that's
not raining. It's not raining. Fiona has such a lovely setup. Well, Fiona, do you want to just introduce yourself and just explain what you do and where you were perhaps when we started working together?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Fiona. I'm an equine massage therapist. So I started off in January, I think, with you, wasn't it? With the Expert Academy. Was it the week retreat?
Yeah, we did a 3-day challenge in January. She joined that, and then you joined the Expert Academy.
And then I joined the Expert Academy. Yeah, that's right. When I actually did the first course, I was in Glasgow, and then I made the decision to move back to Swansea permanently. And when I first started, I think I was having like 4 clients a month. It was quite ridiculous, really. And now I'm pretty much hitting my monthly goals, income and new client goals, since starting working with you. So
it's fantastic, and it's been lovely watching how you've grown that. Now, working with vets has been really pivotal for you, Fiona, hasn't it? And I think when we first started in the Expert Academy talking about vets, you were a bit like,
oh my god, I was like, I can't.
Yeah, out of your depth, I think is how you felt. But actually, you did quite a clever move. You realised that you had the right vet as a contact, didn't you?
Yeah, so my vet is actually, well, she came over to do some, I think it was an x-ray on one of our ponies. And we were chatting away, and she was saying, she mostly sees old retired horses. She doesn't really have any sports horses on her books. And I said, well, my niche is old retired horses, so you're like perfect for me. So I think it's really important to tell them kind of what you want to work with, rather than they will assume that you do like top level dressage horses.
Yeah, we're all making assumptions all the time. Like, you'd assume that's what out of your league and not for you, and then she'd assume that the kind of clients she had weren't the ones she wanted. And actually, it was like staring each other in the face. She was the perfect vet. And then, how did you sort of progress that relationship? Because she's been quite a good source of referrals, hasn't she?
She's been quite good. So I actually treated her 2 horses. And she realized then, I think it was a sort of like a test. And she realized then that I'm actually pretty good at what I do. And then she's been referring me on to clients as well then.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's up to the clients to pick up the phone and call me, but she's been doing the preliminary work.
Yeah. And to be honest, we trust our vets. And if your vet says, oh, actually, I think they'd benefit from a session with Fiona. There's a strong chance most people are going to take some action following on from that. And that's it's just a really great example, Fiona. Thanks so much for sharing about how you need to showcase your work. First, you need to like get your brave pants on and start the conversation with that. But then, showcasing work. And I think I agree. It is a slide test, and you've definitely got to wrap your head around that, because vets need to know that you know what you're doing. They need to have full confidence to refer on to you. And that is such an inspiring story of how you have really done a great job in working with vets. And what else have you done to grow your business, Fiona? As well as follow my advice, the letter, you're like a model client.
Yeah, so, well, to begin with, my social media accounts were shocking, to just be completely honest. I was looking through the old pictures the other day. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've posted that. So I've like narrowed down my niche. I've figured out my help statement. And I've been using Canva. It's my best friend now, to make really nice standout posts. So my social media accounts look quite presentable now.
They look great. They really do.
Yeah, they're getting there.
They look fabulous.
Yeah, and I've also I wrote a book, a Polwick book. So using that, I just did a single Polwick challenge last weekend to get some more clients online, really. So I've just been doing a lot more than just massaging. I think that's really important to say.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be doing as well, for sure. It's giving you a lot more variety as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I've also got a sponsored rider as well. I know you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
And she's been doing quite well for me as well. She's got a few clients for me, and it's kind of opened another door for me.
Your sponsored rider seems to be doing a great job of talking about you, and you're not just like a name in a list of tags.
Yeah.
Which I think can easily happen. And as I said, from the sponsored rider's perspective, they can just think that that's ticking the box, that that's what you wanted, but not quite. So I think it's really important to be clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, Fiona, that's so inspiring. The other thing might be great to talk about, because I know we've got some people on the call that are like, I want some help, but it's scary. And I'm running the Expert Academy this time as an 8-week Kickstarter, literally to kick people into action in a kind, loving, kicking fashion. So it would be lovely to just hear how you felt before you invested, because it is scary. I remember feeling terrified before making my first investment in business coaching. So how did you feel, and how did you kind of get yourself over the line, so to speak, to make sure you did get some help?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The Expert Academy, that investment was the most difficult, definitely. I did, because I remember we had a call, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to have to think about it. I don't know. I have to dig into my savings. This is stressful. But I'm really glad I did it. Like the second investment then that I made for the mastermind, it was literally, I was just like, yeah, cool. You can
you were just like, yeah, straight away, just send me the invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the first investment is the most terrifying. I totally agree. From the first investment I made, which felt like horrendous at the time, and then when you go on to invest more, it's like, actually, it wasn't that bad. But it's that first one that's terrifying. But it's that first time you really say, like, yes, this is definitely a business. Yes, I want to help, and yes, I'm saying yes to myself. It is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've got to realize that I don't know, like me, I'm a massage therapist. I'm not amazing at using computers. I'm not amazing at doing all this other stuff. So I need to learn it somehow. I'm not a business person.
Yeah.
But you need to have some sort of help to begin with to get that started and put it all together.
And that's exactly what the Kickstarter is for. Oh, Fiona, so lovely to see you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and talking to us about vets and growing your business. Amazing. Lovely to see you. I will let you go back to your windy field. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. And then we'll hear from Claire.
Hey.
Hey, Claire, how are you doing? I can hear you. I can see you, which is a bit odd. Where have you gone? I want to add you as my screen. Tell me for you.
The dogs are just going crazy.
Claire and her dogs. Here's Claire. Claire and her dogs are here. I couldn't see you.
Dogs just gone crazy. I think I said hello and they thought someone was here. So they
God, Claire, really lovely to see you. Now, Claire has got a busy weekend planned. Claire's running the London Marathon on Sunday. How are you feeling?
I'm exhausted, actually.
Oh.
I'm really tired. I haven't been sleeping too well, and on top of work, training, everything else, I'm just kind of.
You're
but it's
so
fine.
close. You can
I'm
do
close.
it. You're so close. And I saw your amazing post about how many cakes you could eat when you run a marathon, like how the calorie deficit worked out. So
My
just
motivation.
I know you like cake, Claire, so that should spur you on quite nicely. Well, thank you so much for taking a break from working and marathon training to talk to us today. Could you just introduce yourself and maybe your dogs and talk about your sort of journey as a physio and how you found working in the Expert Academy last year?
Yeah, so I'm Claire and I'm a veterinary physiotherapist, and I'm based in Banbury, so Oxfordshire, Northamptonshire area. So I used to work a lot in racing and then decided to train as a veterinary physiotherapist. I suppose my niche would be race horses and performance horses. At the moment, it's kind of a mixture of both. I kind of see quite a few like 90, 100 like grassroots level horses, some top dressage horses and race horses as well. But I would like to kind of focus on moving off down to the racehorse area and kind of keeping that as my clientele. But obviously it's different, and I do enjoy talking to the kind of leisure horse owners as well. They're really lovely people to work with. What else were we going together? So the Excite. When did I start the Expert Academy? I can't remember.
You did the Expert Academy last September, didn't you? Because
it was like lockdown, wasn't it? Near enough.
It was. Oh my goodness! Like all of last year felt like lockdown, didn't it? Yeah, it was like this time last year. It was the last week of September, 2020 that we started.
Yeah,
and I think you were really wanting to help your mindset as well as a few business like ideas and strategies, because you had some clients, didn't you? You just wanted a bit more.
Yes, yeah.
And kind of get out of your own way, I think.
I'm always in my own way. Always constantly spend my life like trying to get out of my own way. I think kind of during lockdown I did quite a lot. I got quite into like Instagram and Facebook and kind of got to know kind of all the different techniques and things people were using to improve their business. I mean, we had loads of time to just sit and scroll, didn't we? Which isn't ideal, but got to know kind of different people in various areas, and then obviously did a little bit more with you at NKC Equestrian, and had a chat with you on the phone, and I think you persuaded me in a nice way, kind of pushed me in the right direction to joining the Expert Academy, because I love to save money. That's probably my favorite hobby. So saving is my passion, and trying to part with the money was a huge decision for me. But it was great, actually. I really enjoyed being part of the group. Everyone's really supportive. There were so many great presentations and kind of chats and Zoom meetings and so many incredible ladies that you're so inspired to push your business forward. They're kind of like they're not your friends, but they kind of become like people that you want in your life. So you just follow them on Facebook, and you kind of feel like you know them really well, but you don't know them
definitely. Yeah, and I love that with a group setting, because you can just like get that energy from the group, and it's so lovely watching you all grow. Oh, Claire, thank you so much. That's great. And just talk us a little bit about working with vets, because that's one of the things we're talking about today. And I know that you're pretty established with vets, aren't you? So do you have anything else you'd like to share with working with vets?
So at the start of my business, I used to do the kind of standard send a form into the vet practice, ask them to sign it to get permission to treat horses, and kind of I'd be terrified actually to call a vet and actually speak to them. So I used to send like this generic kind of form that I had that I'd fill in with everything I found, and I'd send it to the vets, and I never actually got any response. Nobody really, I don't think they actually look at it, to be honest. It's just a big waste of time. But now I've actually become a lot braver and bolder, and I will just, if I see a horse with a problem, I will ring the vet. I'll either ring the practice and ask for their personal number, or I'll just kind of, if I've got it already, I'll just ring their mobile number and leave them a message and just say kind of what I'm concerned about, and they're more than happy to ring you back. and actually they are humans too. So
They are, yeah. They forget things, they have bad days. Yeah, they totally, real people, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I think I just got so hung up on the fact that I would need to know every single origin and insertion of every muscle, every nerve, everything, and they would want to know all the details, but actually they're not worried at all.
No, not at all. They just want the top line information.
They do, yes,
and they
yeah.
don't, and they're so fast to process information, vets. They don't want, as you said, they don't want reams and reams. They just want top line. If they want more details, they'll be quick to ask for them. But yes, you don't have to produce a presentation every time you speak to a vet.
No, you don't. And actually, just calling them up and saying that you're concerned about something is enough. And then they're expecting a phone call from the owner. They know that there's a problem already, and everybody's kind of on the same line, rather than kind of like, oh, the physio's been, oh, well, we didn't know that. And yeah, it's and then you start to form relationships, and then it gets to the stage where you can actually just WhatsApp them and just send them a message. And I voice record quite a bit over to vets. If I'm somewhere, I'll send a video in, and then I'll send a brief like voice recording of what I'm concerned about, and it can just go from there. So it's quite handy, really, to have.
And it is so worth the effort, because it does, as you said, Claire, it does take that initial brave pants from the therapist to start the conversation and start the ball rolling, and a bit of time, but then it's really easy once you've built that relationship, isn't it?
It is, yes, yeah, and they are just people at the end of the day.
They're so nice, they're so helpful, and I feel that they so want to work with other therapists. They really do. They just want the best for horses.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that's kind of, and yeah, when you phone and they don't pick up, they're not ignoring you. They're not looking at their phone thinking, oh God, there's a physio calling me again. They're just busy. So
probably got one arm up a horse doing something. They probably can't answer the phone.
The mindset kicks in and you think, oh, I'm not good enough to talk to that vet. They don't want to speak to me because I'm rubbish. And then that thought goes on for the rest of the day until they call you back. So.
Yeah, and it's just not the case at all. And yes, great example of why the need for working on mindset is so important.
Yes,
oh, Claire,
really
thank you so much. It's so lovely to see you. Best of luck for Sunday. Are you just planning to get round? You're quite competitive. I imagine you have a time in mind.
I did have a time in mind, but I think I'm now aiming for a sub 4, and anything better than that is a bonus.
That's still pretty impressive. Well, come back safely. You definitely, come back with sound legs, and yeah, Claire, I can't wait to catch up and hear how you get on with your marathon. And thank you so much for joining us today, Claire. That's been lovely. Really nice to see you. Well, if anyone's got any, thanks, Claire. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to stick them in the chat. Like, so much you can do to be finding clients. There really is. Fiona and Claire have shared some great examples, practical examples of working with vets. And I think the most important thing is that you just move out of your own way. Like it's down to you to identify who the people you need to work with are, and then start the ball rolling. And you can do it, you really can. It's just down to you, as Claire said, getting your head in the right space and taking action. So I can't wait to hear how everybody gets on with finding more clients and working with other professionals. That's really, really exciting. Just before we finish, a couple of things to say. Tomorrow, the call is going to be 5 p.m. UK time. I'm really sorry for a last minute change. My daughter's got her first Pony Club rally tomorrow. I am really excited. And the time of that has changed. So have to change everything because we're not missing that. It's really exciting. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't rain too much and that all goes to plan. So I'll be seeing everybody at 5 o'clock UK time tomorrow. So I hope that works okay, different time zones. Janice, I know you're a bit ahead of us, aren't you? I think most people who aren't UK based are behind. I know for Australia crew, it doesn't ever seem to work, whatever the time is. So they'll probably be on the replay, but it'll be 5 p.m. tomorrow that we'll be going live. And then the replay will be in the group straight after. So just make sure you've got that in your diary. And again, apologies for a last minute change of plans, but it's quite an exciting reason for doing that. Other thing, for those of you that are thinking about the Expert Academy Kickstarter, like you've heard from Claire, you've heard from Fiona, how it's made a massive difference to their business. It is scary making that first investment in your business. 100% feel that. I've been there, but I have designed this Kickstarter to be really accessible. It's a no-brainer, really. It's low investment. if you're going for the monthly payment option, which is £99 a month, you need what, 1.5 clients, depends what you charge, a month to pay that back. Like, do you seriously think you can't have 2 clients to recover the cost of that investment? Like, you could, like, if you've got that much self-doubt, you definitely need some help. You definitely need to work on your mindset as well as your business, because you can easily do that. You really can. So get off the fence. If you're thinking about it, get on a call. I'll send you guys the link if you want it. I'll put it in the group as well. So just shout if you want any more details on that. But the price goes up on Monday evening when the videos go. The price of the Kickstarter is still open for another week, but it'll be £200 more. So if you're thinking about it, don't pay £200 more. Like, join this week. Makes perfect sense. It really does. Okay, guys, lovely to see everybody. Oh, that's so lovely, Vicky. Recommend joining. It's a great, my business, Claire. It's so worth it. You make the investment back in no time. Yeah, so true. Like, it's such a great price point. It really is. This is exactly what people who are stuck or people who are new in business need. It really is. Hannah, absolutely lovely to see you. My absolute pleasure. Hannah, do go back and watch yesterday's Money Mindset if you haven't already. I think you'll really enjoy that one. And yeah, I will catch the rest of you at a later time tomorrow, and then we'll be back with one on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Goodbye.